Maya Chen was 12 years old when she became the first human child to attend the Galactic Youth Academy. The school floated in space on a giant station called Kepler 7. It was far from Earth, far from the sun, and far from everything Maya had ever known. But she was not afraid. She had Raja with her. Raja was a Bengal tiger. He weighed 400 pounds. His fur was orange and black, and his eyes were the color of gold coins. He had been with Maya since he was a tiny cub, small enough to fit in her arms. Now he was big enough to carry her on his back, though she never did that because it was not good for his spine. Maya loved Raja more than anything in the universe. And Raja loved Maya. That was simply how it was. The morning of her first day, Maya woke up early in their small room on the station. Raja was sleeping at the foot of her bed, his huge body taking up most of the space. She could hear him breathing, slow and deep. She reached out and touched his ear. It moved a little. He opened one eye, looked at her, and closed it again. "Come on, lazy boy," Maya said. "First day of school." Raja made a sound in his throat. It was not quite a growl and not quite a purr. It was the sound he made when he did not want to get up. Maya laughed and got out of bed. She put on her school uniform. It was gray and simple. The station had made a special one for her because human bodies were different from the other students. Then she clipped the leather leash to Raja's collar. The collar was blue with small silver stars on it. Maya had picked it out herself back on Earth. They walked through the long metal hallways of the station. Other beings moved past them, but Maya did not pay much attention. She was looking at her tablet, trying to find Classroom 7 Gamma. The station was very big, and all the hallways looked the same. Finally, she found the right door. It was large and round like all the doors on the station. Maya took a deep breath. She was a little nervous, but only a little. She had Raja. Everything would be fine. The door slid open with a soft sound. Maya walked in with a smile on her face. Raja walked beside her, his big paws silent on the metal floor. "Hi," she said brightly. "Sorry we're late. The gravity adjustment took forever." Nobody answered. Maya blinked and looked around the room. There were 23 students sitting at strange floating desks. They were all aliens. Some of them had bodies made of something that looked like glass or crystal. Some of them looked like balls of jelly with eyes. Some of them had feathers in many colors. They were all staring at her. No, Maya realized. They were all staring at Raja. And they were not just staring, they were terrified. One of the crystal aliens made a high sound like breaking glass. It jumped out of its seat and ran to the back of the room. Then another one did the same thing. Then they all started moving, climbing over desks, pushing each other, trying to get away. The teacher was a tall alien with 4 arms and gray skin. His name was Professor Vorelk, but Maya did not know that yet. She only knew that his skin was changing color. It went from gray to bright yellow, like a warning sign. He pressed himself against the wall, his 4 hands spread flat on the surface behind him. "What?" Maya said, confused. "What's wrong?" A jelly-like student hit a button on the wall. Alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed on the ceiling. The sound was so loud that Raja's ears went flat against his head. He sat down beside Maya and leaned against her leg. He did not like loud noises. Maya put her hand on his head. "It's okay, boy," she said softly. "It's okay." But it was not okay. More aliens came running into the room. They wore uniforms and carried things that looked like weapons. They pointed the weapons at Raja. They were shouting in languages Maya did not understand. Her translator earpiece was working hard, turning their words into English, but there were too many voices at once. "Predator," her earpiece finally managed. "Dangerous. Children, threat, evacuate." "Wait," Maya said. She held up her free hand. "Wait, please. He's not dangerous. He's my pet." Everyone stopped shouting. There was silence except for the alarms. One of the security aliens, a big creature with thick blue skin and no neck, stepped forward. It spoke slowly so the translator could keep up. "You brought a predator into a school." He's not just a predator, Maya said. He's Raja, he's my friend. He's been with me since I was 9 years old. He's never hurt anyone. The aliens looked at each other. Maya could see that they did not understand. They were looking at her like she was crazy, like she had just said the strangest thing anyone had ever said. Professor Vorok's skin slowly changed from yellow back to gray. He took a small step away from the wall. His voice was shaking when he spoke. "Human child," he said, "that creature could kill everyone in this room." Maya looked down at Raja. Raja looked up at her. He licked her hand with his rough tongue. His tail moved a little back and forth. "He won't," Maya said simply. "He's a good boy." Behind her, one of the jelly students fainted. It made a wet sound when it hit the floor. The feathered aliens were holding each other, their feathers puffed up in fear. The crystal aliens were making clicking sounds like they were praying. Maya stood in the middle of the room, a small human girl with brown hair and brown eyes, holding a leash attached to one of the deadliest predators Earth had ever made. And she was smiling. She did not understand why everyone was so scared. Raja had always been gentle. Raja had always been kind. Raja was family. But as she looked at the terrified faces around her, Maya began to realize something important, something that would change how she saw herself and her people forever. Humans were different. Humans did things that no other species in the galaxy would ever do, and keeping a tiger as a pet was only the beginning. "Maybe," Maya said slowly, "we should talk about this." Raja yawned, showing all of his long white teeth. 3 more students fainted. The security team took Maya and Raja to a large white room. It was not a prison cell, but it felt like one. There were no windows. The door was very thick. Maya sat on a metal bench with Raja lying at her feet. His head rested on her shoes. "Don't worry," she whispered to him. "We didn't do anything wrong." Raja made a soft sound. He trusted her. He always trusted her. An hour passed, then 2. Finally, the door opened and several aliens walked in. Maya recognized Professor Vorok. His skin was still a little yellow around the edges. With him came a tall, bird-like alien with blue and green feathers, a small creature that looked like a walking mushroom, and a human woman in a gray suit. The human woman smiled at Maya. "Hello, Maya. I'm Ambassador Chen. No relation to your family, just a coincidence. I'm here to help translate and explain." Maya felt relief wash over her. Another human, someone who would understand. Ambassador Chen sat down beside her. The aliens stayed standing, keeping their distance from Raja. The tiger watched them with calm golden eyes. He was not worried. He could smell that Maya was not afraid, so he was not afraid either. The bird-like alien spoke first. Its translator made its voice sound flat and mechanical. "I am Diplomat Krisha of the Kree Federation. I must ask you some questions, human child. Please answer honestly." "Okay," Maya said. "The creature beside you, what is it?" "He's a tiger, a Bengal tiger. His name is Raja." "And what is a tiger?" Maya thought about how to explain. Tigers are big cats from Earth. They live in forests and jungles. They hunt deer and wild pigs and things like that. They're very strong and very fast. The aliens exchanged looks. The mushroom creature spoke next. Its voice was high and squeaky. "When you say hunt, you mean it kills other animals for food?" "Yes." "And you keep this killer in your home?" "Well, yes, but Raja doesn't hunt anymore. We feed him special food. He's never had to kill anything." Diplomat Krisha's feathers moved in a way that might have been confusion. "Let me understand correctly. This animal is designed by nature to kill. It has claws and teeth for killing. It has the instinct to kill. But you keep it in your home, where you sleep, where you are defenseless." "He wouldn't hurt me," Maya said. "He loves me." The room went very quiet. Ambassador Chen leaned forward. "I think I need to explain something, Maya. The concept of keeping predators as companions doesn't exist anywhere else in the galaxy. Not anywhere. When the other species first met humans and learned about dogs and cats, they thought it was a translation error. Dogs and cats, Maya said, but those are normal. Everyone on Earth has dogs and cats. Exactly, that's the problem. Ambassador Chen pulled out a tablet and showed Maya some pictures. Look at these. These are the kinds of pets that other species keep. Maya looked at the screen. She saw small furry things that looked like hamsters. She saw colorful insects in glass boxes. She saw plants that moved a little bit, like flowers that could wave. These are all prey animals, Ambassador Chen said. Or plants, things that can't fight back, things that are no threat to their owners. The idea of keeping something with claws and teeth, something that could kill you in your sleep, is completely alien to them. She paused. Sorry, bad choice of words. The mushroom creature stepped a little closer. It was shaking slightly. Human child, are you not afraid of the creature? Of Raja? No, why would I be afraid of him? He's my friend. But he could kill you. Maya shrugged. I mean, technically yes, but he won't. We trust each other. This seemed to make the aliens even more confused. Professor Vorelk spoke for the first time since entering the room. His voice was still a little shaky. How long have humans been doing this, keeping predators as friends? Maya thought about her history lessons. A really long time, like thousands of years. We started with wolves, we made them into dogs, then we kept cats to catch mice, then horses to ride, then, she looked down at Raja, then everything else, I guess. My grandmother kept a tiger before me, and her mother before her. It's a family thing. You have done this for generations. Krisha's feathers were fully fluffed now. This is not an accident. This is a choice your species makes on purpose. Yes. The aliens started talking to each other in their own languages. Maya couldn't understand them, but she could hear that they were upset. Words kept coming through her translator in broken pieces. Impossible. Madness. How are they still alive? Finally, Ambassador Chen held up her hand for quiet. She looked at Maya with a serious expression. Maya, I need you to understand something. To every other species in this galaxy, what you're doing right now is like juggling live bombs. They cannot understand why you're not dead. They cannot understand why Raja hasn't eaten you. In their minds, predators are forces of nature. They're like earthquakes or storms. You don't make friends with them. You run from them or you die. Maya looked down at Raja. He had fallen asleep during the conversation. His big paws twitched a little. He was dreaming, probably about chasing birds. But that's so sad, Maya said softly. They don't know what it's like to have someone who loves you no matter what, someone who would protect you from anything, someone who's warm and soft and always happy to see you. She rubbed Raja's ear. They don't know what they're missing. Ambassador Chen smiled a little. No, they don't. Diplomat Krisha cleared its throat. The sound was like gravel in a blender. There will need to be a tribunal to decide if this Raja can stay on the station. It is a matter of public safety. He's not dangerous, Maya said again. Perhaps not to you, Krisha said, but you are human, you are. The diplomat searched for the right word. Different. Maya stood up. Raja woke up immediately and stood beside her. All the aliens stepped back quickly, even though Raja had done nothing but yawn. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Krisha nodded carefully. Are you scared of me too, not just Raja, me? The aliens looked at each other. Nobody answered, but Maya could see it in their eyes, in the way they stood, in the way they kept their distance. They were scared of her, a 12-year-old girl, because she wasn't afraid of a tiger. Maya realized then that humans might be stranger than she had ever imagined, and this was only her first day. The tribunal was held 3 days later in a big round room near the center of the station. Maya sat at a small table with Ambassador Chen beside her. Raja lay under the table, his tail curling around Maya's ankle. Around them, in rising rows of seats, sat hundreds of aliens from dozens of different species. They had come from all over the station to see the human girl and her predator. Maya had never felt so watched in her entire life. A panel of 5 judges sat at the front of the room. They were all different species. The one in the middle was a very old morph, one of the jelly-like creatures. Her name was Elder Thesha, and she had studied alien species for over 200 years. The others were politicians and scientists from various worlds. Elder Thesha spoke first. Her voice was soft and wet, like bubbles popping. "We are here to decide if the Earth animal called Raja may remain on station Kepler 7. But first, I would like to understand more about the relationship between humans and predators. I have asked my colleagues in the xenobiology department to share their findings." A door opened and a group of scientists entered. They had been studying Maya and Raja for the past 3 days. They had watched them eat. They had watched them sleep. They had watched them play together in a special observation room. Maya had not minded. She had nothing to hide. The lead scientist was a thin alien with too many eyes. She walked to the center of the room and began to speak. "What we have learned," she said, "has changed everything we thought we knew about humans." The room went very quiet. "First, let me explain something about predators. In the natural world, predators and prey cannot coexist peacefully. This is a universal rule. Predators hunt. Prey runs. This is true on every planet we have ever studied. It is true in every ecosystem. It is, we believe, true everywhere." She paused. "Humans have broken this rule." Whispers filled the room. Maya shifted in her seat. Raja's ear twitched, but he stayed calm. "We examined the human child Maya Chen and her tiger companion Raja. We expected to find fear responses in the child, suppressed survival instincts, perhaps some form of mental conditioning. We found none of these things." The scientist's many eyes blinked in sequence. "The child does not fear the tiger. This is not because she is foolish or ignorant. She is fully aware of what the tiger can do. She simply does not believe it will hurt her. And here is the remarkable thing, she is correct." "How can you be certain?" one of the judges asked. "We tested the tiger's reactions in various scenarios. When the child was threatened by a sudden noise, the tiger immediately moved to protect her. When the child was calm, the tiger was calm. When the child was happy, the tiger appeared happy as well. They are connected in a way we do not fully understand. The tiger sees the child as family, not as prey, not as a threat. Family." Elder Thesha leaned forward, her jelly body rippling. "Is this unique to these 2 individuals?" "No, this is apparently normal for humans." The scientist brought up images on a large screen. "These are pictures from Earth. Humans with wolves, humans with lions, humans with bears, humans with animals that could kill them in seconds. And yet in these pictures they are playing together, sleeping together, living together." The room erupted in confused sounds. Maya saw aliens covering their eyes, their ears, their various sensory organs. They did not want to believe what they were seeing. The scientist continued. "We also studied human biology. We found something interesting." She brought up a diagram of a human body. "Humans are not prey animals. Look at their eyes. They face forward like a predator. Look at their teeth. They have canines for tearing meat. Look at their bodies. They are built for endurance. Our research shows that ancient humans would hunt by chasing prey for hours, sometimes days, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion." "Humans are predators?" Diplomat Krisha asked from the audience. Its voice was high with shock. "Yes, humans are pursuit predators. They evolved to hunt and kill, but unlike other predators, they develop something else, something unique." The scientist paused for effect. "They develop the ability to bond with other predators." She showed more images. Humans crying over dead dogs. Humans risking their lives to save cats from fires. Humans fighting bears with their bare hands to protect their horses. "We call this bonding aggression," the scientist explained. "Humans form emotional attachments so strong that they will die to protect creatures that are not even of their own species. They do not just tolerate predators. They love them, and that love goes both ways. The predators love them back." Maya felt tears in her eyes. She thought about Raja, about all the nights he had slept at the foot of her bed, about all the times he had made her feel safe when she was scared. Elder Thesha was silent for a long moment. Then she spoke. I have studied 1,000 species across this galaxy. I have seen many strange things. I have seen creatures that eat stars. I have seen beings made of pure light. I have seen civilizations rise and fall, but I have never seen anything like this. She looked directly at Maya. Child, you have brought something new into this galaxy, something we did not know was possible. You have shown us that predators can love, that fear can be overcome, that the ancient rules of nature can be broken by something as simple as trust. Maya wiped her eyes. I didn't do anything special, I just loved him, that's all. That, said Elder Thesha, is what makes it special. The old morph turned to the other judges. They spoke quietly among themselves. Maya held her breath. She felt Raja's warm body against her legs. Whatever happened, they would face it together. Finally, Elder Thesha spoke again. The tribunal has reached a decision. The tiger called Raja may remain on station Kepler 7. He will be allowed to attend classes with the child Maya Chen. However, we ask that Maya help us understand more about this bond. We want to learn. We want to understand how to be brave like humans are brave. Maya stood up, her heart was beating fast. Really, he can stay. Yes, child, he can stay. Maya dropped to her knees and hugged Raja's big neck. The tiger made a rumbling sound of contentment. His rough tongue licked her cheek. In the audience, something strange happened. A few of the aliens stopped looking afraid. They started looking curious instead. Some of them even leaned forward, watching the girl and the tiger with something like wonder. Maybe, they thought, there was something to learn from these strange humans after all. 2 weeks passed after the tribunal. Maya started attending classes normally and Raja came with her every day. At first, the other students kept their distance. They sat on the opposite side of the room. They pressed against the walls when Raja walked past. They watched him with wide, frightened eyes. But slowly, things began to change. A Krei student named Feather was the first to get closer. She was covered in soft blue and purple feathers and she was curious about everything. One day, she asked Maya if she could watch Raja eat. Maya said yes. Feather watched from a safe distance as Raja ate his special food from a metal bowl. He ate carefully, not making a mess. When he was done, he licked his lips and looked at Feather. Feather did not run away. She considered this a great victory. After that, more students started getting curious. They asked Maya questions about Raja. What did he like to eat? Where did he sleep? Did he ever get angry? Maya answered all their questions patiently. She explained that tigers were actually quite lazy. They slept for most of the day. They only hunted when they were hungry, and when they had enough food and a warm place to sleep, they were gentle and calm. Professor Vorok started including information about Earth predators in his lessons. The students were fascinated and terrified at the same time. They learned about wolves, about lions, about bears. They learned about sharks and crocodiles and eagles. They learned that Earth was full of deadly creatures, and humans had made friends with almost all of them. Your planet sounds like a nightmare, a Vithrani student named Crystal said one day. His body was made of something that looked like purple glass. Maya laughed. It's actually really beautiful, you should visit sometime. Crystal made a sound like cracking ice. It was the Vithrani way of showing nervousness. Life on the station settled into a routine. Maya went to classes. She did her homework. She played with Raja in the special room that the station had made for them, a big space with artificial grass and trees where Raja could run and climb. She was happy. Raja was happy. Everything was good. Then the Vraks came. It happened on a quiet afternoon. Maya was in classroom 7 Gamma with the other students. They were learning about mathematics, specifically how to calculate distances in space. Raja was sleeping under Maya's desk as usual. Suddenly, the alarm started ringing, but this was different from the alarm on Maya's first day. This sound was deeper, more urgent. Red lights flashed on the walls. A voice came over the speakers, speaking in the common galactic language. Attention, unauthorized boarding in progress. All STUD and TS report 2 safe rooms. This is not a drill. Professor Vorok stood up quickly. His skin turned pale gray. Everyone follow me now. The students rushed out of the classroom. Maya called Raja and the tiger jumped to his feet immediately. They followed the crowd through the metal hallways. Aliens were running everywhere, shouting, panicking. Maya had never seen the station like this. They reached a storage room deep inside the station. Professor Vorok pushed everyone inside. There were about 30 students and a few other teachers. The door sealed behind them with a heavy click. "What's happening?" Maya asked. A morph teacher answered. Her voice was shaking. "Vrax raiders, they're slavers. They take children from stations like this and sell them to work in mines on distant planets." Maya felt cold fear in her stomach. She had heard stories about the Vrax. They were cruel and violent. They had no mercy. "The security team will stop them," Feather said, but her voice was uncertain. They waited. Minutes passed. They could hear sounds outside, distant shouting, things breaking, weapons firing. Then the sounds got closer and closer. Someone was coming. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway outside. Then a voice, rough and ugly, speaking a language Maya did not know. Her translator worked quickly. "This one, there are younglings inside. I can smell them." The door began to glow red. They were cutting through it. The alien students started crying. Some of them hid behind desks and boxes. Professor Vorok stood in front of them, but his 4 arms were shaking. He had no weapons. None of them did. Maya looked down at Raja. The tiger was standing now, his ears flat against his head. His golden eyes were fixed on the door. A low growl rumbled in his chest. Maya made a decision. She reached down and unclipped Raja's leash. The leather fell to the floor with a soft sound. Raja looked up at her. "It's okay, boy," she whispered. "Protect us." Then she did something that no alien would ever do. She walked toward the door. "Human child," Professor Vorok hissed, "what are you doing?" Maya did not answer. She stood beside the door, her hand resting on Raja's broad head. The tiger was tense, every muscle ready. His claws extended, clicking on the metal floor. The door fell inward with a crash. 3 Vrax stood in the doorway. They were big, bigger than any alien Maya had seen. They had gray skin covered in scars. Their eyes were small and black. They carried weapons that crackled with electricity. They looked at Maya. They looked at Raja. The first Vrax smiled. "A human child and what is that thing?" Raja answered by roaring. The sound was like nothing Maya had ever heard from him before. It was not the playful roar he made when they played games. It was not the warning growl he made when strangers came too close. This was something ancient and terrible. This was the roar of a predator protecting its family. The walls shook. The lights flickered. The Vrax stumbled backward, their black eyes wide with something they had probably never felt before. Fear. Raja moved. 400 pounds of muscle and teeth and fury launched through the air. The first Vrax tried to raise his weapon, but he was too slow. Raja hit him like a falling star, and they both crashed into the hallway. The sound of screaming followed. The second Vrax fired his weapon, but his hands were shaking so badly that the shot went wide. Raja was already moving again, a blur of orange and black. His claws found flesh. His teeth found bone. The third Vrax turned and ran. Maya stood in the doorway watching. She felt no fear. She felt no horror. She only felt pride. This was what it meant to have a predator on your side. When it was over, Raja walked back to Maya. His fur was messy. His paws left red marks on the floor, but his eyes were calm as he looked up at her. Maya dropped to her knees and wrapped her arms around his neck. "Good boy," she said, her voice breaking. Such a good boy." Behind her, the alien students stared in silence. They had just seen something that would change them forever. They had seen a predator fight for them. They had seen a monster become a guardian. Feather was the first to move. She walked forward slowly, step by step, until she stood beside Maya. Her feathers were shaking, but she reached out one wing and touched Raja's back. "Thank you," she said softly. Raja turned his big head and looked at her. Then, very gently, he bumped his nose against her wing. Feather started to cry. One by one, the other students came forward too. The Vrak's attack ended 2 hours later. Station security, helped by emergency forces from nearby ships, managed to capture or drive away all the raiders. 17 Vraks were arrested. 8 more fled in their damaged ship. And 3, the ones who had tried to break into the storage room, were dead. Nobody blamed Raja. In fact, nobody even asked questions about what had happened. The security officers looked at the bodies, looked at the tiger, and simply nodded. They understood. Word spread quickly through the station. The human girl's predator had saved 30 children. The monster had become a hero. Maya spent the next day in the medical center, not because she was hurt, but because the doctors wanted to check on her. They scanned her brain and her heart. They asked her questions about how she felt. They were amazed that she showed no signs of trauma. "You watched your animal kill 3 beings," one doctor said, "a gentle creature with soft gray fur. This does not upset you." Maya thought about it carefully. "They were going to hurt us. They were going to take us away and make us slaves. Raja protected us. I'm not upset about that. I'm grateful." The doctor made notes on her tablet. She looked confused, but she did not argue. When Maya returned to classroom 7 Gamma, something had changed. The desks had been moved around. Now, instead of sitting on opposite sides of the room, the students sat in a circle. And in the middle of the circle, on a pile of soft cushions, Raja was lying down. Feather was sitting next to him, her blue feathers brushing against his orange fur. Crystal was on his other side, his purple glass body reflecting the light. Even the morph students, who had once been the most afraid, were nearby, their jelly bodies quivering with excitement rather than fear. "Maya," Feather called out, "come sit with us." Maya walked over slowly. She could not believe what she was seeing. What is this?" "We decided to move things around," Professor Vorelk said. His skin was a calm blue color, something Maya had never seen before. "The students wanted to be closer to Raja, and I agreed." Maya sat down next to Feather. Raja lifted his head and put it in her lap. His golden eyes looked up at her, calm and content. "After what happened," Crystal said, his voice making soft chiming sounds, "we realized something. Raja is not a monster, he is a protector. He is part of our class now, part of our family." "Family," several other students repeated. Maya felt tears in her eyes again. She seemed to be crying a lot lately, but these were happy tears. The days that followed were strange and wonderful. Students who had once been terrified of Raja now wanted to be near him all the time. They asked Maya to teach them how to pet him properly. They learned that he liked to be scratched behind his ears. They learned that he purred when he was happy, a deep rumbling sound that vibrated through the floor. They learned that he was gentle, so gentle, when someone was sad or scared. One night Maya woke up to find that Raja had visitors. 3 young Krei students had sneaked into Maya's room. They were huddled against Raja's warm body, fast asleep. Their feathers were fluffed up with contentment. Raja looked at Maya with an expression that seemed to say, "I did not invite them, but I cannot make them leave." Maya took a picture and went back to sleep. News of what had happened on Station Kepler 7 spread across the galaxy. People heard about the human girl and her tiger. They heard about how a predator had saved children from slavers. They heard about the strange human ability to bond with dangerous animals. Within a month, messages started arriving from other stations, other planets, other systems. Everyone wanted to know more about human-animal companions. Could they be hired as guards? Could they protect other schools? Could they keep families safe? Ambassador Chen called Maya to her office one day. She was smiling. "Maya, you've started something big, very big." She showed Maya a screen full of messages. "Governments are asking about human-animal teams. Security companies want to learn our methods. Scientists want to study the bond between humans and predators. You and Raja have changed how the galaxy thinks about Earth." "All we did was be ourselves," Maya said. "I know, that's what makes it so remarkable." By the end of the school year, things had changed even more. Several families on the station had adopted small Earth animals, mostly cats and dogs. The aliens were learning to care for them, learning to love them. It was not easy. There were accidents. There were scratches and bites and misunderstandings. But there was also joy. There was warmth. There was the special feeling that came from having another creature love you without conditions. On the last day of school, Professor Vorelk made an announcement. His skin was a happy green color. "Class, I have received a request. 17 families have asked if Raja can visit their homes during the summer break. They want their children to spend time with him, to learn from him." He paused. "To learn how to be brave." Maya looked at Raja. The tiger yawned, showing all his teeth. Feather, who was sitting next to him, did not even flinch. "What do you think, boy?" Maya asked. "Want to make some new friends?" Raja's tail swished back and forth. After class, Feather pulled Maya aside. Her feathers were a bright, happy purple. "Maya, I asked my parents something. They said yes." "Ask them what?" "If we could get a human pet." Feather's eyes were shining. "They said it does not work like that. But they also said that maybe, if humans keep coming to the station, we might be able to have a human friend. A real human friend. Someone who could teach us to be brave like you are." Maya hugged her. It was awkward because of the feathers, but Feather did not seem to mind. "You're already brave," Maya said. "You just didn't know it." That evening, Maya sat in her room with Raja. The tiger was lying on the bed, taking up most of the space as usual. Maya leaned against his warm side and looked out the window at the stars. She thought about her first day on the station when everyone had been so afraid. She thought about the tribunal when the aliens had learned about human bonds with predators. She thought about the Vrax attack when Raja had protected everyone. She thought about the changes that had happened since then, the friendships formed, the fears overcome. Humans were strange. Humans kept predators as pets. Humans loved things that could kill them, and somehow that love made everything better. Maya closed her eyes and smiled. "We did good, Raja," she whispered. Raja purred, a deep sound that vibrated through her whole body. Outside, the stars kept shining, and somewhere in the galaxy, on stations and planets and ships, other beings were learning something new. They were learning that fear could be overcome. They were learning that predators could be friends. They were learning that love was stronger than claws or teeth or any weapon ever made. They were learning to be a little more human. And maybe, Maya thought, that was not such a bad thing at all.